Hello there, boys and girls. We are in week 3, and this is the morning work page for the 4th day of week 3. So it'll say morning work 8.2 up at the top. So we've got some of our addition and subtraction problems like we've been doing, and I want you to keep in mind that these ones are fact families. So we're going to be using a lot of the same numbers as we solve them. So if we take a look at the first one, we have blank plus 6 equals 14. Do you remember the special trick I taught you? If we take our sum and we do the opposite of what we do here. So here we added 6, so instead we're going to take away 6 to figure out what we started with. So if I have 14 and I take away 6, well, if I take away 4, that will give me 10, and if I take away 2 more, that's going to give me 8. So I'm going to start with 8, and then let's double check. 8 plus 6 equals 14. Great job. Now, here I have 8, but it's not a sum, it's a difference because I subtracted. So here, if I have that 8, to find out what goes first, instead of subtracting 6, I'm going to add back that 6. So if I have 8 and I add 6, what's that going to give me? You're right, 14. So let's check. 14 minus 6 equals 8. Okay, here we've got some missing numbers. 10 minus what equals 6? 6 plus what equals 10? And then over here, we're looking for our starting number, so we can use our strategy of looking at our sum in this one, and then taking away the 5, and here, looking at our difference and adding back the 5 to get that starting number. So write the numbers in order form. They want it greatest to least. So I'm going to look at my tens placed in each of those. I have 8 tens, 3 tens, and 7 tens. And I know I want to start with the greatest. So which one is the most number of tens? Well, I know that 8 tens is the most. So that means that 82 is going to go there. I'm going to leave the other 2 for you to do. Now, 20 ducks were flying home. 7 came down to rest. How many are still flying? Why don't we write a number model for that, and then I'll have you solve it. So there were 20 ducks that were flying. So I know I'm going to start with 20. Now I need to decide whether I'm adding or subtracting. 7 of them came down, and I want to know how many are still in the air. So if 7 came down, would I be adding 7 or subtracting 7? Well, if they're coming down, I have to take them away, because what I want to know is how many are still flying. So do that subtraction for me, and you can write your answer right there. We've got some words that are scrambled up, and we need to unscramble them. So I'll read the words for you. We have police, correct, city, trace, circus, and octopus. So take a look at the letters you've got down here and figure out which words up here have all those same letters, and you can cross them out as you use them because you'll only use each one time. Then for our sentence down here, Tracy showed her class her science experiment. Now we need to come up with a sentence that responds to that. So we've got celebrated, contest with a period, the, because, one, Tracy, science, and she. Well, to figure out what's the first word, what does a sentence have to start with? That's right, a capital letter. The only word here with a capital letter is Tracy's name. Now, it would have a capital letter even if it wasn't the first word, because names always have capital letters. But in this case, it's the only one with a capital letter, so we know that that's our first word. So I'm going to start the sentence with Tracy, and then I want you to go ahead and figure out the rest of the sentence. Now, just a little clue, look at where your period is. Okay, so that will be your last word. So I'm going to have you go ahead, pause the video right now to do your work, and we'll come back and go over the answers. If there's something you're not sure of, just leave it blank, and you can do it when we do it together. Okay, and here we are again to go over our answers. We already did the first two. So now we've got 10 minus 4 equals 6. That's one of our combinations of 10. Same here, 6 plus 4 equals 10. If you notice, we're using the same three numbers in both of them. So in this one, it's kind of giving us some of the answers for this one once we solve that one. So now we've had our missing numbers in the front. So if I use my strategy, I had blank plus 5 equals 15. Well, I take 15, I take away the 5 that I added, and it leaves me with 10. And I know that 10 plus 5 is 15. So down here, I know that if I take away 5 and it gives me 10, if I add that 5 back, I'm going to start with 15, just like I had up here. So there's those. We did the first one together, which was 82. Then when I look at my tens, I have 7 tens and 3 tens. So I know my number of 7 tens will be next, 74, and then the least is 32. We did a number model, 20 minus 7 equals blank. So when we solve that, we know that there are 13 ducks still flying in the air. Okay, this first one was octopus, then correct, circus and city, trace and police, once we rearrange the letters. Then we had Tracy showed the class her science experiment. We knew that Tracy went first because hers was the only word with a capital letter. And so what did Tracy do? She celebrated because she won the science contest. And we knew that contest came last because it has the period here. And I didn't cross out any of the words at the bottom, but you could as you're writing it to make sure that you use them all. So here are our answers for morning work 8.2. Awesome job, everybody.